nervous taxpayer was unhappily conversing with a tax collector while she reviewed his records. And the IRS auditor saw the man's frown and looked over her reading glasses and said, "Sir, we feel it's a great privilege to be allowed to live and work in the United States. And as a citizen, you have an obligation to pay taxes, and you might consider paying them with a smile." And the man sighed and replied, "Thank goodness, I thought you expected me to consider paying them with a check." Our modern taxes and tax collectors do make some folks nervous, even secretive, for a lot of reasons. I suppose most of them have to do with owing money or disclosing their secrets, or even sometimes shenanigans to get out of paying taxes. But we need to work on setting aside our modern notion of taxes and tax collectors to understand New Testament references to them, like the tax collector in Jesus' parable that Brian just read so nicely. Tax collectors in Jesus' day were not government workers trying to just do their job and make sure everyone paid the amount that they owed. Back in Jesus' day, tax collectors were more like mafia henchmen sent to collect protection money under threat of violence and disaster. Feasting on the word commentary on our lesson describes them like this. Ancient Palestinian tax collectors are not like contemporary IRS agents paid to enforce the law. They are franchises of a corrupt and Byzantine system that gouges the poor and enriches the wealthy. The tax collector, by definition a wealthy man, pays the empire a set amount for the privilege of gathering whatever he can squeeze from his neighbors. And although he is personally responsible for the money owed by the district, he's free to collect that money any way he wants, and anything he collects above what he owes is his profits. And then the commentary goes on to note that the tax collectors often farmed out their responsibility to others, creating a perfect pyramid scheme of graft. It's no wonder they are roundly despised. And so a second century tax collector in Palestine was more than someone to be nervous about going through tax records and handing you a tax. The tax collector was a person, everyone hearing the story when Jesus told it and Luke wrote about it, it's a person that they would fear and absolutely love. And we need to also adjust our thinking about Pharisees. Sadly, and quite wrongly, we tend to think of them as self-righteous opponents of Jesus, but that's not at all accurate. In Jesus' day, Pharisees were rightly respected and looked up to. And this may surprise us even more. They also tended to have a progressive theology related to theologies many of us embrace. Listen to the commentary's notes on Pharisees. Pharisees held to a liberal interpretation of Scripture, and the aim of Pharisaic law was to make observance of the Torah available to all. Pharisees are the first to promote the priesthood of all believers and were particularly contemptuous of tax collectors who consort with Romans, handle their money, and extort from the populace. The early Jesus followers were, of course, Jewish, and it is highly likely that they and Jesus held such people, the Pharisees, in very high regard as careful, prayerful community leaders and people to respect. We tend to think that the Pharisees are whom the parable is being addressed, but actually, as we heard, Jesus addressed the parable to, quote, some who trusted in themselves that they were righteous and regarded others with contempt in love. Jesus does not claim the Pharisee in his story is such a person. In fact, we can hear Jesus set the story up so a holy man, a righteous and respected Pharisee, is paired off with an unholy man, an unscrupulous, loathed tax collector. Parables tend to have shocking endings, and we can find Jesus building up toward a shock in the story, but it may not be what we have been led to think. Parables, they call us to roll the story around in our heads a bit and draw our own conclusion. And I decided to see if I could find something other than the usual route commentators' take on the lectionary reading. Typically, it is understood to be about a Pharisee who's contemptuous, and Jesus leads us to have contempt for the contemptuous. It doesn't quite seem on the mark with Jesus' teachings to be. So I thought I'd roll the story around in my head and do a bit of prayer and a lot of research and thinking about this story. And what I found was Jesus has two men at the opposite ends of the spectrum of righteous conduct appearing in a very holy place, the temple. And he has both men take up very pious and quite intimate positions, standing and praying. And then Jesus lets us in on the conversations that they have with God. He discloses their prayers, which in the time of the temple were typically uttered aloud with hands lifted high to heaven. And the Pharisee goes first and offers what can fairly be called a prayer of gratitude to God. He doesn't petition God for anything in this particular prayer. He just offers thanks. God, I thank you that I am not like other people, thieves, rogues, adulterers, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week. I give a tenth of all my income. We usually listen to the parable, and we tend to come away thinking ill of that prayer and the man who prayed it. But listen to what happens when we set tradition aside and tease out a new to us meaning. First of all, in the words of the story and in the context of both Jesus and Luke, we can understand that a Pharisee has come to worship and is communing with God as he should. We also learn from the Pharisee's prayer that he is a lawful person. He has avoided being a thief, a rogue, an adulterer, and a tax collector. More than that, he is also lawful in that he otherwise does right by the law, by Torah. He follows its practices, including prayer, fasting, tithing, and a pilgrimage to the temple. And far from being self-centered, he is thankful to God that he has stayed off the low road and is on the high road. And he responds as he should, with gratitude, generous offerings to God. Looking at this fellow in Jesus' very short description with a fresh lens, we can see him as right in moral conduct, right in being thankful to God, right in responding to all he is grateful for with religious, spiritual practices, of going to worship, prayer, fasting, offering. Again, most Christian commentators do not have this view of the parable. Christian tradition tends to find the Pharisees' prayer self-centered and contemptuous of thieves and rogues and adulterers and nearby tax collectors. This view leads to the Pharisee being seen as committing the sin of the listeners that Jesus is speaking to, those who trusted in themselves that they were righteous and regarded others with contempt. In other words, many Christian commentators understand this parable as about how sinful it is to look down in contempt at others. And that is a sin, but there's something about finding it as a focal point that's troubling, because it tends to look down contemptuously on those who are looking down contemptuous. It ironically perpetuates the sin it is supposed to focus on, making it confusing and, I dare say, hypocritical, rendering it at odds with Jesus' teachings. And while many modern Christian commentators take that slippery slope and see the sin of contempt as the focus, Jesus and Luke's community were not modern Christians. As I said, they were Jewish. They did not have centuries of Christian doctrines regarding sin and guilt and anti-Jewish sentiment to both taint the meaning of the parable and view the Pharisees poorly. And so I turn to a source which explains New Testament understandings from a Jewish perspective. It's called the Jewish Annotated New Testament. And sure enough, that text propounds an intriguing meaning very unlikely heard in many sermons covering this lectionary text today. The commentary suggests that, quote, we see the Pharisee as helping the tax collector. Just as the sin of one person impacts the community, so the merits of the righteous can benefit the community. Perhaps the Jews who first heard this parable understood the Pharisees' merit positively to have impacted the tax collector. This would be the parable's shot. Not only that an agent of Rome is just, but that the Pharisees' own good works help in that justification. In other words, the parable can be heard to mean the ripple effects of goodness can move others toward goodness in the most unexpected ways. The word justification in Hebrew scriptures and the New Testament is shorthand for it, as my theological dictionary puts it, being acquitted, vindicated, declared righteous, or innocent. And the dictionary goes on to note that the contrary of justified is condemned. And notably, none of the two men in Jesus' story are said to be condemned by Jesus, and only one prays for justification. The Pharisee does not petition God for justification in the temple. He offers prayer of gratitude for his life, not going down the tubes. And in that prayer, said aloud, we know he was not only following God's teaching, but supported the temple with a very generous practice of offering a tenth of his income to sustain the faith of the community. The Pharisee can be understood as already being justified by following God's command. In Judaism, the reward for following a command is following the command. The evidence found in the Pharisees' prayer seems a very model of righteous command compliance living. And like prayer said aloud in this portion space, it's not a stretch that the tax collector heard the Pharisees' prayer and was moved by it, which could explain why it is only after the Pharisee says thanks to God that the tax collector is moved to behave righteously. It's following the Pharisees' prayer that the tax collector could not even look up to heaven, but was beating his breast and saying, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. The tax collector takes that very humble stance before God. He doesn't lift up his face in arms to God, but shows signs of remorse and repentance, and then petitions God to be merciful and confesses he's a sinner. And as a result, Jesus said, I tell you this, man went down to his home justified rather than the other. For all who exalt themselves will be humble, but all who humble themselves will be exalted. There was only one man who asked to be justified up in the temple. There was, from all we can tell, only one man among the two who needed to. The tax collector. And the simple short prayer was answered, and he was justified. And we can hear and understand that Jesus told this parable in such a way that the tax collector's prayer itself was motivated by the prayerful and the humble thankfulness of the righteous man and his righteous actions, the Pharisee. The Pharisee was not like those Jesus told the parable to, those who trusted in themselves that they were righteous and regarded others with contempt. The Pharisee did what the righteous should do. He took his righteousness before God in humble prayer of gratitude for it, and he acted righteously. The shock of the parable is that a holy life and a prayer of thanks for it can unknowingly and profoundly influence even an unholy, eavesdropping tax collector to repent and be justified. And of course, self-righteousness and contempt for others can't have such an effect. Jesus did not teach us to be contemptuous of even the contemptuous. He did teach us to model righteousness and be thankful to God. And may we be like that version of the Pharisee. Perhaps our